Hi, this is Claire, and this is usually Purlwise Knitting Podcast, but today I have a vlog from a camping trip that I took last week with my friend Kay, who you've probably heard me talk about a lot on here because they also knit. We went to Mauricie National Park, and we went canoe camping, which I've done before, but not really as an adult on my own. So it was really fun, and we felt like we did a really good job. So we also did some knitting. We were both knitting DRK everyday socks. And I thought I was really smart here that I had tied my project bag around the arm of my camping chair. Our site was really beautiful, and we got to have a lot of campfires. We were on Lake Wapizagonke, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing correctly. I think this was our first morning there. We came across this whole family of mergansers came across us, and we watched them feed for a really long time while we drank our coffee. This was our first morning. It had poured the night before and it kind of rained all the next day, but I kind of don't mind at a rainy camping day. I feel like it's really fun to just sit and read books, and we knitted and had a fire in the day, which is always like a treat. What else did we do that day? We played cards. We tended our fire. There was nobody else around, which was really nice. There were a couple sites near us, but people had left by that point. And it was a pretty busy lake, but because it was rainy, nobody was canoeing by. There was lots of traffic when it was nice out going to this hike, which I will show you a bit more later.
Wave. Limo. It's a video.
When it finally cleared up that day around 4 p.m., we went for a canoe, and we came across this beaver, which you can see to the left there. And she swam alongside us for a really long time, which was really lovely. We also saw this loon, which came fairly close as well. Here it is. I guess it's feeding with its little head underwater. It's a very long lake that we were staying on, so we were staying sort of near the top, and this day we canoed down, not too far, but I think we were up for like 2.5 hours. A duck, an American black duck. Kay knows all the names of birds, so it was very convenient. It did rain on us a little bit while we were canoeing, but it wasn't so bad. I noticed when I got home that all of my footage and my photos have very crooked horizons, but that's okay. Here's a little bullfrog in the lily pads. If you look closely, you can see her little hand holding on to the lily stem. And this loon came so close to us, it was amazing. You could see like the bands on her neck, the little white bands, and I've never been so close to a loon before. There were a lot of loons on this lake, it seemed. This was the view from our campsite in the rain. I think the loons nest on that island. And this was our sunset on that first night, or second night. The night after our first full day. Good work. I'm helping. So what you just saw was Kay pulling the canoe over a beaver dam so that we could continue canoeing down the lake, which you can see there, to do a hike to Weber Falls, which is very beautiful, and we really enjoyed it. It was about an 8-kilometer hike in the end. Here are the falls, again, very, very crooked, but they were so impressive, and I hadn't looked them up, so it was a nice surprise to see what they looked like for the first time in person. They were bigger in person than they look here, I think. We went down the river a little bit away from the falls to eat our lunch, which was really nice. And then we continued on to make a big loop of the hike, and this was one of the lookouts on the way. This is a different lake whose name I forget. And then this is us going back the same way, past those beaver dams again. It was a little less busy this way. Luckily, we had gotten an early start because it is a really popular hike. So if you were to do it, I would recommend going early.
Yeah, I did really fast.
This was such a nice, peaceful little part of the canoe. I'm glad there wasn't anyone else in the creek at the time. And we were so hot and sweaty after the hike. It was really nice to go for a swim. And I was wearing my Crocs and they kept popping back out of the water. I took a little video of our campsite so you could get an idea of what it looked like and our setup. You'll see there's a lot of ropes and strings to keep the tarps up because we were in the rain that first couple of days, and I think it rained maybe every night we were there. I certainly had a lot of wet things to dry out when I got home, but that's okay. That enclosure over there had wood in it. There's our picnic table with all our stuff. You can see there's another site behind us, but luckily nobody was on it. That's my little tent that I bought this year. I love it so much. I've never owned a tent before, my very own tent, so it's nice. And yeah, you can look at all the ropes. And there were a lot of birds. This is me preparing dinner on our last night. It was very nice out, and it was nice to have a fire going for the mosquitoes. I was really proud of the camping menu I came up with. For this last night, we had some fried tofu with vegetable ramen with a bunch of like corn and green onions and things like that. And Kay sat and knitted while I made dinner.
No.
Here's the ramen. It doesn't look beautiful, but it tasted very good. We also roasted marshmallows every night, which was great. Even with the rain, we managed to get a night fire in.
You're doing a really good job. The tables have turned.
Usually I'm very good at roasting marshmallows, but I was struggling with my angle.
How did you get just the outside? And
I had also been knitting around the fire, and then it got dark on me, and I really wanted to finish my rows. So here I'm knitting by headlamp. Because we were in bear country, we had to hang our food. The girls on a site near us the first night said they did see a bear, but they managed to scare him away, and we never saw him or her.
what is that noise?
There was a scary noise. I tried to enhance it for you, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't make it loud enough. It was fine, though. I don't feel very scared in the woods at night. Sometimes you can manage to spook yourself, but mostly I feel really safe. I don't feel particularly scared of bears either. I've been camping my whole life, and as a kid we encountered bears on our sites before, and they're really much more scared of you than you are of them. I mean, depends who you are, but they're very afraid of people, so it's okay. Our last morning was very misty. You couldn't see the other side of the lake, which was crazy. I started taking this video to show you, and then that loon appeared, which was a very nice surprise. And here you can see the mist clearing. You still can't see the tops of the mountains on the other side, but this was the island in front of our campsite. And then we got to spend the most beautiful part of the last day canoeing back to the canoe rental, which wasn't very far at all. We picked a site pretty close to the canoe rental for our first try back at canoe camping. So it was maybe a half-hour paddle. So not that rugged in the end, but it was still a good adventure. And this is all our stuff packed up in the canoe. On our way out of the park, we stopped at this lookout, which was very lovely. I believe that's the same lake we were on, just further down. It was such a long, skinny lake. And then on our way out as well, we stopped and did this little hike, just a few kilometers, I can't remember, 2 or 3 or 4 or something. And it was next to these nice like rapids. Well, I guess they're not rapids, they're cascade, little waterfalls. We ate our lunch here. And that was our trip. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of this footage. I know it's different from what I usually post, but I thought it could be fun, and me and Kay had a lot of fun taking the video. So thanks for watching.